why your SaaS demo show rate is sitting at 40% and how to fix it. So your SaaS demo show rate is probably sitting at around 40 to 50% right now. And if you're running paid ads, that low show rate is costing you tens of thousands of dollars every single month. And some of you watching this, it's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Increasing your show rates is one of the best ways to increase revenue without spending more on ads. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So what's the real cost of like low show rates though, right? So let's say you're spending 20K a month on ads, right? Your cost per demo is about $150. And that means you're probably booking around 133 demos per month, right? That sounds pretty good. But here's the problem. If your show rate is 40%, that means only 53 of those demos actually showed up, which means your real cost per demo is not 150. It's 377. Okay, so you just wasted $11,000 in ad spend on people who never ever showed up, right? And that's just a wasted ad spend. We're not even talking about the opportunity cost, right? Those 80 people who didn't show up, some of them are probably qualified. Some of them probably had a budget. Some of them are probably ready to buy, but they ghosted you, right? So your sales team's calendar probably looks very full, but half of the slots are freaking no-shows, right? And your SDRs are burnt out from following up with people who never respond. And you're just sitting there wondering, is it my ads? Is it my offer? Is it my sales team? Right. And here's what most SaaS founders do. Well, they're going to try to start tweaking the ad copy, changing the landing page headline, adding more urgency to the booking page. But none of that works because the problem is not on the front end, right? The problem is what happens after someone books the demo. Right, so let me show you what's actually happening. Right, so most SaaS companies have what I call a broken funnel. And it looks like this, right? So someone clicks on the ad and they land on your landing page, right? And you probably don't even have a VSL. You probably just have just your generic landing page, or you're just sending them straight to like a pricing page or a calendar link, right? And so from there, people will go ahead and they'll either fill out the application or book a demo, and congrats, right? So that means you kind of did your job on the front end. You got them to book, right? But then what happens? So in the next 48 to 72 hours before they show up to the demo call, radio silence, right? They hear nothing from you except maybe a calendar reminder that just says, hey, don't forget about our meeting tomorrow. And that's it, right? You're not giving them any information about what it is you do, what problem it is you're solving, what your value prop is. And during those 48 to 72 hours, that crucial period, here's exactly what's happening, right? Like they're seeing or talking to your competitors, they're getting cold feet, they're forgetting why they even booked with you in the first place, and they're getting busy with other priorities. Right? And so by the time your demo rolls around, they either don't show up or they show up completely cold, asking you guys like basic questions. So what is it that you guys' product does again? Right? So that's an education call. That's not a sales call. And education calls do not close. So here's what you need to understand. Right? So there's two types of selling in your funnel. So there's front end selling and then there's back end selling. And most SaaS companies, honestly, most companies in general only do the first one, right? So front end selling is everything someone does before they book in a call. So that's your ad, your landing page, your VSL, and your application form, right? And the goal of all of those things is to get them to book. And you're probably pretty good at this too, right? You've probably optimized your ads. You've tested different headlines, different offers. You've made sure that there's congruency between what you say in your ad to what's being said in the landing page to what's being said in the VSL, right? So you're probably getting people to book, right? That's likely not the issue. The problem is your back end selling, right? So back end selling is everything that happens after someone books in the demo, right? And the goal of back end selling is completely different, right? It's not to get them to book. They already did that. Right? The goal is to get them to show up and to show up pre-sold and ready to buy, right? And this is where 90% of SaaS companies completely drop the ball, right? So they think their job is done once someone books in. But that's like a restaurant thinking their job is done just because someone makes a reservation, right? But you still have to actually get them to show up. But now you might be thinking, Danny, why do I need to do all this extra work, right? If someone books a demo, they're already interested. They should just show up and get it, right? But here's the reality, right? So if you're selling B2B, your prospects are capital rich, but time poor. They're busy and they're getting hit with 100 different priorities every single day. And booking a demo with you was easy, right? It probably took them like 30 seconds, but actually showing up to that demo, that requires them to block off 30 to 60 minutes of their day, prepare questions, maybe loop in other stakeholders. It's just a much bigger commitment, right? So between the time that they book and the time that the demo happens, they need a reason to prioritize you, and you have to give them that reason, right? They have to be reminded why they booked in the first place. They need to be educated on what it is you do so they don't waste your time asking basic questions. And they need to be pre-sold on your value prop so that when they show up, they're ready to buy, not just to learn more, right? And that's exactly what back-end selling systems do. They fill that 48 to 72 hour gap with value, education, and urgency. And when you do this right, your shorts are going to go from 40 to 70% plus, right? And your demos are going to turn from education calls into sales calls, and your close rates are also going to skyrocket. All right, so now for the moment you've all been waiting for. All right, so let me show you exactly what a complete backend selling system looks like. So there are 4 main components, and each one serves a specific purpose. So before I break these down, though, I want to be clear, like this is not theoretical. All right, this framework comes from analyzing hundreds of SaaS funnels and seeing what actually works. Right, and so one of the guys I actually learned a lot of this from was a guy called Jeremy Haynes, right? And he's worked with clients doing multiple millions per month. And he's documented that implementing these back-end selling systems creates an average, right, of 17% improvement in show rates. And some of his clients have seen 30 to 40% improvements, right? And so the reason it works is simple, right? You're just giving people a reason to show up. You're staying top of mind. You're educating them before the call so your sales team doesn't have to. And you're handling any and all objections before they ever even come up. You're just giving them enough information to work off of, right? And so there's 4 main components, right? So there's the confirmation page, which is going to have like your urgency videos and breakout videos. There's going to be your value dense email sequences, your content retargeting, and your sales development reps just manually reaching out, right? And I'm going to dive deeply and walk each of you guys through this one by one and explain how to implement them. So component number 1, right? So this is the page that someone sees immediately after they book their demo. And most companies completely waste this opportunity, right? So here's what most confirmation pages look like, right? They're just like, oh, thanks for booking. We'll see you on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Check your email for the calendar invite. And that's it, right? And maybe there's a button to add it to the calendar, but that's a massive missed opportunity, right? Because right now, in this very moment, that person is at their highest level of interest in your product, right? So they just took action. They just committed to booking a demo with you, and their attention is solely on you. And you're going to waste that by saying, hey, thanks, see you later. No. All right. So here's what you have to do instead. So your confirmation page should just have 2 types of video, right? So an urgency video and breakout videos, which are just FAQ videos answering like the usual questions you get on sales call, right? And so the urgency video should just be something that gives them believable reasons why they need to show up to this demo. So not fake scarcity stuff. Oh, limited spots, like no BS, right? So just real reasons. Like, hey, we're going to walk you through exactly how to solve X problem that's keeping your business stuck. And we're going to show you a custom demo tailored to your situation. And we're going to give you a roadmap, whether you work with us or not, right? Like, that's believable. You're talking about their pain point that's keeping them stuck and how you're going to provide them that solution, right? And so for the breakout videos, I want to have like 5 up till 20 really, but 5 to 8 breakout videos, 1 to 3 minutes each. These are all pretty short, right? And you just want to answer the specific questions that your sales reps usually get on sales calls here, right? So, oh, how does your product work? What results can I expect? How is this different from name like 2 or 3 main competitors? Or what if I don't have a developer on my team? So you just want to address all these questions here just to give them a much better understanding of what it is you do, what your value prop is, and just quell any of the doubts that might start to creep in as soon as they just book that demo. Right? So the goal is to start educating them immediately. So by the time that they show up to the demo, they at least already know all the basics, and your sales team doesn't have to waste 20 minutes explaining what the product does. Right? They can just jump straight into the value and straight into the close. Component number 2, value dense email sequences. And I know what you're thinking, right? So Danny, I already send reminder emails. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Reminder emails alone don't work, right? A reminder email is just like, hey, just a reminder that we have a demo at 3 p.m. Looking forward to it. That's not valuable, right? Like, and your prospects are getting 100 emails a day. They're just going to ignore that. Right? So value dense emails are different. These emails actually need to provide value. They need to educate, they need to handle objections, and they need to build urgency towards your demo and for your product, right? And here's the key. You want to send 2 to 6 of these per day between the time they book and to the time the demo happens. And now I know that sounds like a lot, right? You're probably thinking, won't that annoy them? And the answer is no, not if the emails are actually valuable. So remember, your prospects are capital rich, but time poor. They want information that helps them make a decision faster. They don't want to wait 3 days for a demo just to end up asking those basic questions again, right? And so they want those answers now, and they're going to ask for that information anyway. So why, or look for that information anyway. So why not be the one to provide them that information and control the narrative that they have of you and of your product, right? So you should have these in 4 different phases. Phase 1, you want to introduce your brand and maybe the founder if you're early stage. Phase 2, reintroduce the offer and the guarantee and have some case studies. Phase 3, educate them on the system and how it works, like educate them on the system behind delivering the offer. And phase 4, you want to handle the objections. And all the copy that's within these emails should be mined from previous sales calls, from sales calls that didn't close. And you want to pull all the objections that those people had and answer them in a systematic fashion throughout these emails. Because the goal here is to move them down the sales cycle way before the demo happens, right? So that when they show up, they're not asking, what does your product do? They're asking, how do we get started? So component number 3, content retargeting, right? So the everywhere all at once strat, right? So this is where things get really powerful. So here's the idea, right? So as soon as someone books a demo, you want to have them added to a custom audience in your ads manager. So this means you have to make sure that your pixel's conditioned correctly so you can retarget these people, right? And as soon as they book in and they convert, you want to hit them with 30 to 50 pieces of short form content and 15 to 30 pieces of long form content, ideally, right? So if you don't have all this, that's fine. You want to start with like 5 to 10 pieces of short form and like 1 to 2 pieces of long form, right? But over time, you want to build up that bank. So now you're not just showing them ads to book another demo. They're already booked in. You're showing them educational content. Again, all of this comes back down to educating the prospect and inundating them with information about what it is you do, what your value prop is, and what problems you're going to solve for them. So you want videos that handle objections, videos that build authority. You want to show your case studies, testimonials, thought leadership content, right? All of these different things. Right? And you want to hit them on all the different platforms, everywhere that they're going to be bumming a scroll, right? So the goal is to hit a frequency of like 15 to 20. And if you don't have that much content, aim for like 3 to 4. You just want to be top of mind so they feel like you're everywhere all at once, all right? And here's why that works, right? So during these 48 to 72 hours, your prospects are also talking to competitors. They're probably also getting hit by competitors' ads. They're researching other solutions. They're getting conflicting information. They're searching you up on Google. And whoever has the most presence in their mind is going to win. But if they see your content like 20 times and they see your competitors' content 0 times, who are they going to trust more, right? This is what I call narrative control. You're controlling the narrative in their mind, and you're making sure that the information they're consuming is your information, not your competitors. So by the time they show up to your demo, you're going to be the only option in their mind. Component number 4, manual outreach from your SDRs, right? So this is the human touch, and it's one of the most underrated components of this whole system, right? So as soon as someone books a demo, you want to have your sales development reps reach out to them manually, not with an automated email, with like a quick selfie video, right? And it's much better if you do this off an iPhone as well. They pull out their phone, record a quick 30-second video, say something like, hey, name, I just saw you booked a demo with us for Tuesday at 3 p.m. Super excited to chat with you. Looked at your application and I saw that you mentioned XYZ. I actually have a few resources that I think would be really helpful for you before our call. I'm going to send those over in a separate message. But if you have any questions in the meantime, just hit reply and I'll get back to you ASAP. Like, just imagine getting that after you booked in, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh wow, like these guys are going this above and beyond for me, like before I even become a client. You know, like you're just implanting all these different thoughts into the prospect's mind of how professional you guys are, how what a well-oiled machine you guys are, even before they ever begin working with you, right? And so then after that, they send that person those 2 to 3 tailored resources for their specific situation. It could be a case study of someone in their industry. Maybe it's a video that addresses a specific pain point they mentioned in their qualifying app or SOP or a guide, right? So the whole point is that it's tailored to them, right? It's not a spray and pray. It's a specific to that person's situation. And then like 24 hours before the demo, you want to have them send another selfie video. Hey, XYZ, just wanted to check in. We've got our demo tomorrow at 3. Really looking forward to it. I've been thinking about your situation with XYZ, and I've got a few ideas I want to walk you through. See you tomorrow. Right? So everything that we've talked about, the confirmation page, the emails, the content retargeting, that's all automated. It's scalable, right? Like it's a gargantuan amount of work at the beginning, but after that, it's just little refinements, right? But it's also impersonal, right? So this is the one piece that's going to be personal. It's a real human reaching out, acknowledging them by name, referencing their specific pain points, their specific situation, and providing value. So when you combine the automated systems with this personal touch, that's when show rates are going to go through the roof and your close rates are going to go through the roof. because now it's not just some faceless company sending them emails. It's also a real person who cares about their success. And people don't want to ghost real people. So putting this all together, let's see what it would look like in practice. All right. So let's just say someone books a demo at 10 a.m. and the demo scheduled for Wednesday at 3. That's about 53 hours. Right. So here's what happens during those 53 hours. Right. So hour 0, they book, they land on your confirmation page, and they see the urgency videos, the breakout FAQ videos, and then they're just going to start consuming content. Right. And this is when you're going to send them that first confirmation email, telling them like, hey, thanks for booking. We've got you booked in. Here's what to expect. Over the next few days, we're going to be sending you some more information on our product, et cetera, et cetera. You're just going to be setting expectations, right? So hour 6 is going to introduce your brand, and it's going to further set expectations for what's to come in the following email. Hour 12, second email, reintroduces the offer, whatever guarantee you might have, social proof, some case studies. Third email, this is going to show them how your system works, just talking more about the value prop, right? And again, more case studies. The more case studies you can pack into these emails, the better, all right? And then hour 24, that's when you're going to start your retargeting, right? So they're going to start seeing your ads on Facebook, IG, YouTube, right? A video answering any question that they could have had, right? So a case study, you're going to see testimonials, and then around hour 30, so sometime like midday during the next day, your SDR is going to send them like that first little selfie video with a tailored resource to them, right? Hour 36, fourth email, just handling all the different objections that you could have, right? And then hour 48, so 2 days later, another selfie video, just checking in and confirming the demo for the next day, right? So by the 53rd hour, when that demo happens, the person's already consumed like 5 to 10 pieces of content. They've already received 4 to 6 emails. They've seen your ads like 15 to 20 times, and they've gotten 2 personal videos from a real human. They're educated, they're pre-sold, and more importantly, they're ready to buy. Right. So this is why setting up these back-end selling systems is so important. Like, just like if we just go back to all the things that we just looked at, like how, if you were on the receiving end of all this different information, like why would you not feel more convicted to buy from these people if they put in all this effort for you to explain their value prop, to explain exactly what it is they do, explain exactly what problems they would solve for you. They've answered any single objection that you could have had, and you've had a real human being send you a video saying, hey, looking forward to chatting with you, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just compare, right? So where you're likely at now, and what it would look like once you implement all the different back-end selling systems we talked about. Right, so here's probably what your funnel looks like right now, right? So the before angle. So 40 to 50% show rate, a 10 to 20% close rate. All your calls are mostly educational, right? So probably goes like someone books a demo, they get radio silence for 48 to 72 hours. You're probably going to send them a few reminder emails like, hey, see you at Tuesday, 3 p.m. And if they show up, they're going to show up cold. They're going to ask basic questions. Your team is going to spend 20 minutes educating them. That is an education call. That is not a sales call. So now what's going to happen if you implement all these different, and I know it is a lot, but if you implement even just like 50 or 60% of the things that we've talked about, you're still going to see a significant lift in your show and close rates, right? So that's what it would look like. So someone's going to book in a demo. They're immediately going to start consuming your content. They're going to get these value dense emails that are, again, handling objections, educating on your value prop, showcasing the benefits of what your product is going to do for them. They're going to see your retargeting content ads everywhere. They're going to get personal outreach from a real human being. So by the time the demo happens, they're going to be educated. They're going to be pre-sold. They're going to show up ready to buy. And your sales team is going to jump straight into the value and straight into the close. And your short is going to go to like 70 to 80%. And your close is also going to get a significant boost as well. And now you're going to be having sales calls and not education calls. Right? So, and that's the transformation. So the math is pretty simple here. Right? So if you're currently booking 100 demos a month with 40% show rate and a 15% close rate, you're going to be closing 6 deals. Right? If you implemented back-end selling systems, your short is going to go up to 75%, and your close rate's also going to increase as well. Right? You'll be closing around like 30 deals. That's 5x more revenue from the same exact ad spend. Right? So you literally don't have to spend more money on ads. If you just fix your back-end selling systems, the correct metrics are going to get fixed, and that's going to mean more money in your pocket. So here's what you need to do. If you're serious about fixing your show rates and turning your demos into actual sales calls, you need to implement back-end selling systems. And there's two ways to do this, right? So there's path one, you can do it yourself, right? You can go back and watch this video again. You can take some notes, you build out your confirmation page, you script the breakout videos, you set up the email sequences, you create 30 to 50 pieces of content for retargeting, you just train your SDRs on the manual outreach process. It's gonna take you a few weeks, probably a few months, but you can definitely do it, right? And path two, you can get it done for you, right? That's what we do here at CloudSeed. So we can build the entire system for you. And yeah, I'll just leave a link to my Calendly, or just hit me up on Twitter too. You know, like if you have any just quick questions, like I'd love to answer them. But yeah, either way though, you need to take action, right? Because right now you're gonna be bleeding money on no-shows. You're wasting your sales team's time on education calls, and your competitors who implement this they're just gonna pass you, right? So just to recap, right? So your SaaS demo short is probably 40 to 50%, and that's costing you tens of thousands of dollars on wasted ad spend, right? And the reason your show rate is low is because you're only doing front end selling. You're not doing anything on the back end. But back end is everything that happens after someone books in, right? And again, here are the four components. So the confirmation page videos, the value dense email sequences, content retargeting, and SDR manual outreach. So when you implement these four components, your shorts are gonna go from 40 to 70% or more. Your demo is gonna turn from education calls into sales calls, and your close rates are gonna skyrocket. And that's all without changing anything on your ad spend. This is with the same exact ad spend, you're just gonna get 5x more back for it. So here's what I want you to do, right? If you found this valuable, hit a like and a subscribe. Yeah, because I'm gonna be breaking down these four different components in way more detail in the next few videos. So probably be doing the confirmation page strategy video next. I'm gonna show you what videos to create, how to structure the page, how to script the urgency and FAQ videos. Yeah, you're not gonna want to miss that. And if you guys have any other recommendations of what of this system you guys would want to see, just leave a comment down below. And second, if you want us to build this entire system for you in around 10 days, there's a link in the description to book a call. And on that call, we'll audit your current funnel, show you exactly what's broken, and map out how we'd implement back-end selling systems for your business, right? No pressure, no hard sell, right? So yeah, that's it for this video. So yeah, go fix your show rate, and I'll see you in the next one.